Alright, another big day on the old flex rig.
All it takes is one job, oh yeah. All it takes is one job, and everything is gonna be okay.
Today's Wednesday. I'm supposed to have this ready for the show on Friday. Not completed, but having a good looking in progress vehicle, which yeah, it's not exactly that at the moment. I got the flex plate bolted to the torque converter, which was a job. Jared's working on the wiring for the trans. He worked on the battery cables. I worked on the battery cables. He's working on the alternator, charger. What else? Shifter. Saw us working on that. There's not a kit for this trans to hook up the linkage, so we're gonna have to make that. I'll probably start on that in a little bit here. Our fuel lines are hooked up. We have another drive line coming because this one seems a little short. A little bit longer drive line will help us with our angles, which are questionable, which is a bummer because we went to an expert. He told us to put it there, and then he's looking at it now and saying, oh, well, that's not where you're supposed to put it. But we'll see if we get any vibration. We might have to cut everything back off the rear end and do it all over again, which would be just grand. What else? Who knows? Let's get to it. I painted up our turbo tubing, so we need to get that going on there, but we're still missing an intake, so that's a bummer. But I can put on some of this. Turbo tubing's on. There, still missing an intake. Now I'll jump over to this trans shifter situation that I just dropped through there, and I'm gonna take that piece that I dropped, cut off the little nib, and then I need to make a holder for the cable that'll bolt onto the oil pan. So this little guy has this little nib on him that we can adapt to. So I'm going to cut that off and drill a little hole through it, or get that piece to come out, and then put our new little guy through. You can see our little guy got kind of hot in there, but that's what we're going to punch out. Now we'll check if that's the size for our little aftermarket deal, or if we need to drill it bigger. So it looks like we need to drill it out some. Got our little piece ready to go. It says towards trans on the damn thing, so you don't have to wonder if you're messing that up. And you need the nut that probably fell somewhere. That bad boy on. Might shift while you're tightening it. It's fine, just get it back in neutral or whatever this position is supposed to be when we do this cable. Alright, we're back in neutral there. And I need a little pin to go through this, little cotter pin. So let's see if we can get a pin through here. We won't bend that pin over yet, but we will most definitely want to bend that pin over at the correct time. Now let's design our bracket. I need to make sure what this electronic unit, I know this piece wants to be in neutral, but I don't know what the shifter wants to be in. So let's check with that. I'm not sure what position the trans is supposed to be in to build this bracket, so we're going to bounce around again because Jared took the instructions home for his wife to read him as a bedtime story. And so hopefully he's well knowledged in this unit at this point, because I'm guessing that we're supposed to be in park, but I don't know. So I'm gonna go on to start finishing up our trans lines. I did have them going a certain way and I didn't like it, so I got some little 90s with the barb fittings just for the hose to slide over, put a clamp on there. And so I did 4 of those, 2 coming off the trans with adapters to an A&N style fitting, and then straight over to our A&N style fittings on our trans cooler. But we're not going to actually use A&N line, we're just going to use rubber because we got the barb ends. I need to figure out how to route those and make it a nice, neat little way. We do have some obstacles. Is, like you can see, this one is below the drive line, this one's above the drive line. Only good thing about this is the drive line doesn't move up and down because it runs to a fixed independent suspension differential. So I just need to get those hoses on there and wrapped in a way that they're not in the way of anything. So they send some kind of garbage clamps, hose clamps with these fittings, so I got some of the bigger ones I pick up at Napa. I'm going to just spray a little bit of glass clean on the fittings just to help them in there. Oh, hose clamp first. Get them seated all the way up into that fitting. Alright, then we'll hook these up to our cooler and run them over to the other side and see how much room we got here. Into the transmission here. There's our fittings, and I'm thinking I want to try to use these little, hopefully threaded bungs, and then use some of these guys to hold these lines under here. Yeah, if I have them both facing each other, one bolt goes through, and that'll keep our lines safe from our drive line here. Hopefully those are threaded. Hell yeah, it is. Look at that. Sheesh. Just pro shit. Pro. Oh yeah. You know you're loving that. You know it. You know it. You know it. I'm gonna have one that it says to cooler and from cooler. So the one that goes to the cooler, I'm gonna put it at the top. The one that's from the cooler, I'm gonna go with the bottom hose just so gravity helps that out. To cooler is this guy here. Give enough length so it doesn't kink. You know, these McBrackets look so nice, I might just do it twice. Alright, we're back on the shifter here. The instructions say put the lever in the max forward position, which they could just say put it into park, because that'd be a less dumb way to say it. But I want to go with the bracket coming this way to it instead of coming this way, because it's more in the way that way. We can have it totally out of the way, and plus it's trying to pull forward and back, you know, so that'll help. So I'm going to make a little template of this. There we are. And so those two little lines are where the tab needs to hang down, and those are 2 bolt holes for the to bolt onto the trans. We'll probably do this as a flat piece and put a couple of spacers underneath those so it gets above the lip of the, or below the lip of the trans man. So let's transfer this onto some metal. So without test fit, we got it painted black because we're confident. Paint it black means it's done. Let's see how we did. Snazzy, snazzy. There we are. All finished her up.
All it takes is one job.